For more than 200 years, history buffs and treasure seekers have been drawn to Oak Island, a small island close to Nova Scotia. The Lagena brothers and their team have been looking for the island's mysteries, including the finding of little gold in the streams. The brothers' motivation has been the notion that there may be long-forgotten hidden treasures on the island, include an antique handcrafted stairway, a hidden underwater passage with odd inscriptions and carvings, and gold traces in the water. The team has discovered more intriguing items like old coins, carved stones, and other ancient objects that give them new clues about life on the island many years ago. The discovery of gold and wood from deep underground has given the team real proof that there might be treasure on the island. Of course, we're going to investigate the so-called flood tunnel booby trap system. Tell me which way you want to go. The team's resolve and camaraderie have kept them focused even when the ground is challenging to dig. The discovery of Oak Island's darkest and deepest secret ushers in a new era of exploration. Oak Island is not just about treasure. It has left its mark on history with various cultures and people passing through over the centuries. The Lagena brothers and their group set out on a protracted and challenging quest to discover Oak Island's mysteries. Despite challenges, the team's perseverance and commitment enabled them to unearth more hints and deepen their relationship. After alone, this might be one of the ring balls, I wonder. There are numerous stone carvings of letters, numerals, and symbols on the enigmatic island of Oak Island. Although both historians and treasure seekers are interested in these engravings, it is still unclear what they exactly imply. According to some scholars, these sculptures, it might suggest that the island was visited by prehistoric explorers or settlers. Some people think they were clues or messages left by the island's original residents, while others think they were left by treasure. Hunters should mark specific locations or maintain the location of hidden treasures a secret. The difficulty presented by researchers is increased when they attempt to address the sculpture's reluctance to straightforward solutions. According to some scholars, they could be prehistoric marks that were used to indicate important locations or directions. Some scholars claim they were more modern, while others think they served ceremonial reasons. Treasure hunters' creations. Another intriguing. What is amazing is that you're looking at history correctly. The wooden structures and platforms found under the water suggest serious engineering efforts on the island, and some experts believe they were part of earlier efforts to dig for treasure. The discovery in the early 20th century was the construction of a cofferdam at Smith's Cove by treasure hunters. The dam was intended to keep water out so workers could dig in underwater areas. Others question whether they were intended to conceal or safeguard something of value. Over the years, researchers have uncovered historical records and made many other discoveries about Oak Island, a buried treasure. Early explorers and treasure hunters' maps, journals, and records offer important hints about the island's history. They describe bold engineering endeavors, setbacks, and excavations. Conflicting information in some documents leads to various hypotheses and inquiries. An ancient stairway that connected visitors to the island centuries ago was one of the most exciting discoveries. Another exciting discovery was a secret underwater tunnel with odd carvings and symbols. Look, if this is a tunnel, it's an epiphany. These markings on the ball foundation appear to be hints about Oak Island's history, and each new finding has increased the team's desire to carry out additional research. The team realized that even the most difficult obstacles could be overcome with perseverance and hard work after making a significant breakthrough when gold particles were discovered in wood samples taken from deep holes they dug in the ground. This discovery transformed the island's legends into a genuine search for something valuable. The Lagena brothers and their group never lost up on discovering the truth. Their mutual trust and purpose have strengthened their relationship, enabling them to overcome any obstacle and carry on with their search for Oak Island's hidden treasures. The Lagena brothers and their group have been putting in endless effort to learn the secrets of Oak Island, a mysterious Caribbean island. They have found pottery fragments and historical artifacts, and each new
as this soil type is typically indicative of proximity to a tunnel. An additional team member convenes a meeting in the war room with a Dumas Contracting Ltd representative to deliberate on the latest developments concerning their ongoing investigation into the misplaced treasure. The mining and construction company's disclosure of new information prompted Oak Island's team to resume work after suspending a task. The regulations governing drilling and excavation activities were ultimately sanctioned and authorized by the Ministry of Labor in Nova Scotia. Finally, Dumas construction can advance the garden shaft's deepening. The subsequent course of action for the group following the confirmation, is to accelerate their observation and analysis of specific marked areas prior to the major operation impeding their research. Gary Drayton and Peter Fornetti, the team's metal detector specialists, are similarly engrossed in their investigation along the shoreline. In this episode, the focus of the duo's investigation is the shoreline of Lot 5. Their objective is to discover indicators that serve as clues to the presence of iron historical artifacts, metal materials, or other concealed treasures. Potential regions were delineated using flags, and the archaeologists' focal point, the location where ships rested, was also identified. Surprisingly, additional indications of activity have been discovered, given that the Oak Island treasure has been the subject of exploration and public examination by numerous interested parties since its disclosure in 1795. Additionally, some inexplicable activities, such as the clandestine burying of treasures by multiple individuals, including lead barter tokens, 2,000-year-old Roman coins, and Smith's Coven lead cross, may be linked to such activities. Evidently, a granite slab was erected in the exact center of Lot 5 with the intention of enclosing and sealing something beneath the surface. Additionally, in close proximity to the shoreline of the park, one may encounter a circular depression region originating in the late 1600s that bears resemblance to the garden shaft. The metal detector specialists made the decision to investigate the regions delineated by the flag, and their apparatus validated the precision of their assessment. Metal was detectably present beneath the surface of the ground. Following meticulous excavation, a cribbing spike was discovered and determined to have been utilized in the majority of the island's construction. An additional identified location yielded the handle of a snipping instrument, which was traced back to the 1970 discovery of hand-forged iron scissors of Spanish origin by Dan Blankenship. Comparatively speaking, this snipping utility appears to be accurate. For scanning, both artifacts were placed in bags. Approximately 50 years from the shore, the team's
and is astonished by both its appearance and its age. Because of its appearance, she has an interest in the stake, but she is not particularly enthusiastic about it. However, she is fascinated by the way the stake has been preserved and how it has decayed. A significant amount of emphasis is placed in the story on the significance of discovering artifacts such as this, which have the potential to offer solutions to the mysteries that surround the swamp and the people who dwell there. Rick Lagena and his crew are currently conducting an investigation into the enigmatic triangle-shaped swamp that is located on Oak Island. Their goal is to find new evidence that the swamp was created by humans. Given that they have access to Fred Nolan's land, it is possible that they will be able to collect other significant clues. With the help of his team, Rick is currently digging a shaft in order to ascertain the boundaries of the paved area, which they have discovered to be a collection of rocks. In spite of the fact that the paved area was not discovered until relatively recently, it is very suggestive of the fact that it contains information or hinting. Given that the water is rushing in at such a rapid rate, it is reasonable to assume that the water would have been gone. The discovery of the paved portion comes as a surprise to the team, yet it does not provide any answers to the issues of who, why, or how things came to be. As was anticipated, the paved sector has proven out to be a more challenging puzzle than the team had anticipated. Rick, along with the rest of his team, is ecstatic about the discovery, and they are also excited about the idea of performing additional study. When Rick and his family are traveling through New York, Rick finds out that his close friend Zena Halper